Aglorev magazine live is brought to you by
Galilani's Energy Exchange. Express yourself without saying a word.
And Aglorev Entertainment. Mind, body, soul. Energy healing.
You made it. Welcome back to Aglorev Magazine Live, your reliable source for assistance with navigating the 3D. And the 3D is 3Ding. We've got Trump blowing bubbles. Bubba. A cisgendered female is kicked out of a gym to protect the right of a wife-abusing individual to swing their fully male, naked genitalia in the woman's locker room. Make that make sense? Well, I've got some astrological guidance that will help make sense of the things happening in your life and give you something to look forward to. Do you continually sabotage yourself in your romantic relationships? Let me help you get out of your own way. Is it really true? Are the Epstein files finally being released? Or is it just another distraction? The Golden Bachelor concludes. Or was it ever over before it even began? Dancing with the Stars has a tight race and sentimental faces. The Amazing Race is finally showing some red flag behavior. Survivor gets cutthroat. And Love is Blind has the leftover weddings, reunions, and a baby? Love Island Australia starts a new season the right way. And in honor of my recent robot boyfriend obsession, another fun film recommendation. And then I'm going to touch you in places that you haven't used in a while. Your heart and your funny bone. What were you thinking? You are probably surprising yourself right now with your ability to endure more than you ever thought possible or experience and handle. Whatever you thought you never would. This is because the sun in Scorpio is currently forming a supportive trine to Saturn retrograde in Pisces, heightening our emotional strength, power, resilience, and determination. Now, I did tell you before, we even entered Scorpio season, that this Scorpio season will feel like the most Scorpio season we've had for a while. Scorpio is the sign of intensity and depth, change and transformation, and a figurative death and rebirth, and the revamping, rebranding, updating era of our life. With complications, thankfully though. The sun in Scorpio trine to Saturn retrograde in Pisces is the grounding force that stabilizes the emotional waters of Scorpio season. This alignment gives us the opportunity to ground our emotions into something tangible, a cosmic reward of sorts, to acknowledge how much stronger we've grown because of what we've endured. And as the sun in Scorpio is encouraging us to face and confront our feelings, Saturn in Pisces is encouraging us to trust what we cannot yet see. We're putting faith in the process of change and improvement. Themes of emotional strength, resilience, maturity, responsibility, transformation, etc. are all heightened right now under this grand water trine. Jupiter in Cancer is also involved, but specifically the sun in Scorpio trining Saturn retrograde in Pisces. That is that support, the foundation of this grand water trine. Now, the next couple of weeks might get a bit mad, so I've been looking ahead for some positive energy, and I'm excited for December 10th. Neptune goes direct. Saturn will already be direct, and the pair of them will be in Pisces together with the North Node. Loads of purpose-oriented, hierarchical structure transitions in our lives. Spiritual things too. Then, Mars enters Capricorn on the 15th of December, and then it's work season. Things to do, resources to accrue. Focus on you. And then, December 20th, there's a new moon in Sagittarius, the same day that the dark moon also enters Sagittarius. Dark feminine power. Harness it. Perform your rituals and program your crystals. It's the season of hierarchical shifts and change. The matriarch is rising, ladies. Be ready. Spiritual practitioners, alchemists, it's our time to shine. All that we've been working towards, all of our practice time, well, now it's time to play the game. And if you've been following along, you're on the starting team. And every shot you shoot lands. Success is all that you will find. Congratulations early. We earned it. And remember, it's with Saturn. So I hope you did the work. As long as you do the work. And depending on what you're asking for, the work is going to be different. And Capricorn season starts the 24th. Venus enters Capricorn. So there'll be Venus and Mars in Capricorn during Capricorn season. Now, earlier this year, when Venus and Mars were retrograde, it was not a pleasant time. And now, they're aligning together to make sure that we get everything that we've worked for and everything that we are worth and all of the time and energy that we've put into what we were working on this year. Well, it's harvest season. Have you been diligent? Have you been consistent? Have you been resourceful? Have you been true and on it? Have you kept it up? Have you kept going? Well, Capricorn season's about to bring some amazing things through. And as we get into early January, January 2nd, and Chiron goes direct. Thank goodness. Chiron retrogrades are rough. January 1st, Mercury enters Capricorn. Mid-January, things start to shift to Aquarius spaces, and January 18th, we have a new moon in Capricorn. So let's just get through the next couple of weeks. And then, once we get into December, things turn around. And those are some of the placements that I'm looking forward to working with. We also have a full moon in Gemini on the 4th of December, still ruled by Mercury in Scorpio. So we do still have underworld transformations happening. But once Neptune goes direct, things start to look up. And if you would like a more detailed explanation of how these energies are affecting you directly, as well as discovering your personal windows of opportunity, contact me through my site. Finding love in 2025 can feel like navigating a minefield. I get it. Women from all over the world contact me with similar stories of frustration, and I know this feeling intimately. Many people are starting to believe that the one for them simply doesn't exist. The narrative is often the same. Initial excitement that quickly fades, leaving behind a trail of confusion and exhaustion. There was this incredible first date, and then silence. What went wrong? The universal ache of disconnection in the dating world is palpable. It's easy to point fingers, blame the city's fast pace, and the endless swiping of apps, or even our age. However, from my experience, having navigated the dating world myself, after a breakup that took almost 3 years to rebalance my energy after, the real roadblocks often lie beneath the surface in the quiet realm of our subconscious patterns. I remember those 3 years vividly. I was doing all of the right things. I put myself out there, struck up conversations, and endured what felt like a never-ending first date. The needy ones, the emotionally unavailable types, and just about every other archetype in between. I devoured the self-help books, diligently practiced the art of letting go. Yet, despite my conscious efforts, something fundamentally felt off. Looking back, I now understand that many unconscious beliefs were suddenly yet powerfully sabotaging my chances of finding genuine happiness. Carl Jung's powerful words: until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Resonate deeply here. We often attribute our dating struggles to external circumstances, but the true battle often lies within our unconscious programming. Attachment theory, pioneered by John Bowlby, provides a compelling lens through which to understand this. Our early relationships, particularly with our primary caregivers, lay the blueprint for how we experience love and connection as adults. These formative experiences create internal models for all of our romantic relationships, significantly influencing our partner choices. If these deeply ingrained patterns remain unexamined, we might unknowingly find ourselves drawn to relationships that mirror the very unhealthy dynamics that we experienced growing up. In my work with clients who feel perpetually stuck in the dating cycle, I've consistently observed 3 key ways they unknowingly sabotage their pursuits of love. I recognize these patterns. In my own journey, I also have stumbled into them. So, if any of these resonate with you, know that you are not alone, and more importantly, that awareness is the first step towards change. Now, number 1, you mistaking the spark of chemistry for the foundation of compatibility. It's so easy to get swept away by the initial rush of chemistry. That electric feeling can be intoxicating, and we often mistake its intensity for true love. However, the initial spark can sometimes be a siren song, drawing us towards familiar yet ultimately unhealthy patterns from our past. Think about it. If you grew up navigating emotionally distant parents, you might subconsciously seek out partners who replicate that same dynamic, confusing the emotional roller coaster of highs and lows with genuine passion. But lasting love isn't solely built on fireworks. It thrives on the steadier flame of emotional security, shared values, mutual respect, and the willingness to nurture that initial chemistry over time. To cultivate a healthy and fulfilling relationship, you need to become more discerning about what you're drawn to, why you're drawn to certain people. Now, what can you do about it? Take some time for the honest reflection of your past relationships. What reoccurring patterns do you notice? Are you consistently drawn to specific types of people? I also encourage you to explore the different attachment styles. Understanding your attachment style and that of others can be incredibly illuminating. This awareness is a crucial step in breaking free from old patterns. Number 2, you're approaching dating from a place of neediness, not abundance. Think about the energy you bring to your dates. Are you hoping this person will complete you? Are you operating from a fear of being alone? Dating from a place of lack or neediness creates a subtle pressure that can make it almost impossible to relax. Enjoy the process and forge a genuine connection. Love, at its core, should be fun and expansive. If you're approaching dating with anxiety, constantly worried about whether you measure up or if this person will choose you, you're creating a barrier to authentic connection. So what can you do about it? Shift your mindset. Instead of viewing dates as a desperate search to fill a void, try to approach it with ease and curiosity. Let go of the need to control the outcome. Cultivate a sense of abundance in your life. Focus on your friendships, your passions, and your well-being. When you operate from a place of inner fullness, you naturally exude more confidence, presence, and openness to genuine connections without the weight of expectation. Number 3, you're holding back, afraid to open up and truly invest. The fear of vulnerability can be a powerful force, keeping you trapped in superficial dating patterns. You might find yourself hesitant to invest emotionally, waiting for the other person to make the first move, to show their hand before you reveal yours. But building lasting love requires courage. The courage to invest in someone, to open up and express your emotions authentically. It also means having the self-respect and courage to walk away. If someone doesn't align with your values or reciprocate your emotional investment, confident, emotionally secure individuals aren't afraid to give of themselves, to be present and engaged, and to observe how the other person responds before adjusting their expectations. They understand that true connection requires a reciprocal flow of vulnerability. And what can you do about that? Start small. Practice vulnerability in your daily interactions. Share a little more about yourself with trusted friends. On dates, be fully present with put your phone away. Make eye contact and truly listen to what the other person is saying, both verbally and non-verbally. Allowing yourself to be seen and heard is essential for building intimacy. The path to lasting love begins within, and hypnosis can help. If any of these patterns resonate with you, I encourage you to take a deep dive within. It's time to gently set aside the endless lists of ideal partner qualities, the manifestation journals filled with affirmations, and the external pressure to meet some societal ideal of a relationship. Instead, turn your attention inward. Reflect on your childhood. How might the dynamics you experienced growing up be subtly influencing your dating choices today? Are you consistently drawn to people who don't align with the vision you have for your life? As I mentioned, the real work often lies in understanding the origins of these self-sabotaging behaviors. And this is where the profound power of hypnotherapy comes into play. It offers a unique and effective pathway to gently revisit those pivotal moments in your past, where you first experienced pain, distrust, or perhaps even learned unhealthy relational patterns. Think of it as carefully and compassionately stepping back into those scenes, not to relive the trauma, but to gain a deeper understanding of the emotions and beliefs that were formed at that time. understanding truly understanding at an emotional level is immense power. It allows you to start processing the emotions, the feelings you may have unconsciously held on to for years. Feelings that can silently dictate your present day choices in relationships. Through hypnosis, we can access the subconscious mind, the storehouse of these experiences, and their associated emotions. It's a safe and guided process that allows you to witness these past events from a more objective perspective. As the adult you are now, this can lead to profound emotional release, freeing you from the grip of old hurts and outdated beliefs that no longer serve your highest good. As you begin to process these past experiences and release the emotional charge they held, you start to unravel the unconscious loops that have kept you stuck in repetitive patterns in your relationships. You begin to see why you might have been drawn to certain types of partners, or why you might have unconsciously created distance or sabotaged connections just as they started to happen or deepen. This isn't about blaming the past. It's about gaining clarity and liberating yourself from its unconscious hold. By understanding the roots of your relationship patterns, you gain the power to make conscious choices in the present, paving the way for healthier, more fulfilling connections and the genuine love you truly deserve. Hypnotherapy offers a powerful tool to unlock this understanding and facilitate profound and lasting change in your approach to love. Ask yourself two difficult but ultimately liberating questions. Am I in some way afraid of being in a truly loving and committed relationship? And what deep-seated beliefs do I hold about love and my worthiness of it? Taking time for this honest introspection is not always easy, but it is profoundly transformative. All genuine journeys towards lasting love begin with this deep self-awareness and reflection. When you bring your unconscious patterns into the light of consciousness, you unlock the potential for some healthy and more fulfilling relationships to finally blossom. I am also a certified hypnotherapist and use it during my ancestral and generational curse sessions. If you would like to delve into your past and subconscious mind, contact me through my site. Kris Jenner has appeared to make a veiled dig at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry after the couple's representatives claimed they asked for photos to be deleted from her 70th birthday party Instagram posts. Kris, the matriarch of the Kardashian empire, may have to divert a subtle jab at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry whilst emphasizing her dedication to family values. Television mogul, who has just turned 70 years old, oversees the professional endeavors of her celebrity offspring, Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, and Robert Kardashian, as well as Kendall and Kylie Jenner. In an interview with Us News regarding her goals beyond 70, she declared, "My life is really focused on my family and my friends and my relationships. They mean so much to me." She looked to her own mother for motivation, noting she remained employed until 82, explaining she's 91 and she's always says that she worked until she was 82. That's really what kept her young and feeling like part of life and excited to get up every morning and go to work and enjoy her career and what she was doing. Kris expressed her desire to mirror her mother's path. I hope to be exactly the same, and I hope to be healthy, she emphasized. For me now, it's about my family, my grandchildren, my kids, and my health. Her significant birthday celebration featured a star-studded guest list with a list of A-list celebrities like Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Prince Harry, and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Kris's remarks about maintaining tight family bonds might be interpreted as a pointed reference to Meghan and Harry, who continued to be distant from his relatives following their departure from senior royal duties in 2020. Tensions have emerged between the couple and Kris, along with her daughter, Kim Kardashian, who discreetly removed photographs of Meghan and Harry from their Instagram posts commemorating the celebration. Conflicting accounts have surfaced regarding the deletion, with Meghan and Harry spokesperson maintaining that attendees were requested to authorize the public sharing of their images, and Meghan and Harry declined. Although this wasn't communicated to the Kardashians, nevertheless, Jenner responded as her team informed the Daily Mail that her guests were never solicited for consent regarding the posted pictures. Before speculation emerged that Harry and Meghan had personally requested the photographs to be removed. The publication was subsequently informed by an insider. Meghan is so particular about curating her image and has approval over every photo that goes out. She saw those photos and realized how bad she looked compared to every other woman at the party, and obviously threw a fit. Kris and Kim were reportedly disappointed that the extravagant celebration was overshadowed by the photograph controversy. Now, Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party was nearly 2 weeks ago, but Prince Harry is still talking about it. Okay, technically, Harry isn't, but he and his wife, Meghan Markle, attending the party remains a hot topic as the photo deleting scandal continues, and likely will continue until we see it covered on a future episode of The Kardashians. Before pictures of Harry and Meghan posing with the birthday girl and Kim Kardashian were taken down from the reality star's Instagram pages, it appeared as though the royals were having a great time at the Bond-themed party. Perhaps Harry got some acting tips from his wife, because sources say the Duke of Sussex was uncomfortable and felt completely out of sorts interacting with the famous guests. From Harry's perspective, it was surreal to be hanging out with that crowd, and not in a good way, an insider told Us Weekly, not noting that everyone could see he was like a fish out of water and found the whole experience awkward. The insider clarified that Harry had nothing against the Kardashians, rather that mingling with actors, reality stars, and influencers was not what he envisioned when he and Meghan moved from the UK to California to get out of the spotlight and raise their family. The source noted that Meghan, on the other hand, was in her element, and it was a dream night out for the former Suits star. She went home, totally starry-eyed, gushing about all the amazing connections they'd made, and that the sky is the limit. Now, they've been officially accepted into Kris's high-powered clique. Though, it begs the question, why would Meghan or Harry want any photos of them to be taken at the party to be deleted? Some believe the Prince's team quietly asked the photos to disappear for fear of any Harry goes for Hollywood headlines that could damage the humanitarian image they proudly project. A photo of Meghan Markle and Kim Kardashian together is essentially tabloid fuel, but it was Meghan and Harry that lit the match when they asked for the removal of any photographic evidence. The Kardashians agreed to take down the photographs, but it doesn't mean they liked it. And the royal family, the royal couple, may have burned any bridges connecting them to this high-profile world that Harry finds discomforting, but Meghan craves. A PR and branding expert told the Daily Mail that the photo drama sends a message that is confusing and ungracious, and Jenna likely didn't take too kindly to the request. This kind of post-party image control can come across as overly curated or even dismissive, which won't sit well with hosts who are used to the natural exposure that comes from high-profile events. Sources told the Mail it sends a message that their team wants the access, but not the accountability that comes with it. She explained, in Hollywood circles, that can be seen as both confusing and ungracious. With the holiday season coming up, there are likely to be more all-star parties than ever before. Will Meghan and Harry get invites? Maybe, but none hosted by the Kardashians. If the Kardashians feel their generosity or platform has been undermined, they won't forget it. And given how publicly the fallout has been, it's safe to assume both sides will keep their distance for now. But I'll take an invite. See ya. With a near unanimous vote in Congress to pass his bill requiring the release of Jeffrey Epstein files, Representative Ro Khanna, Democrat, California, can claim a victory that no other Democratic presidential prospect has achieved. Cracking the MAGA coalition early polls suggest he's a heavy underdog if he runs, but the California Democratic has been traveling to swing states and early contests to test the water for a possible White House bid. Khanna, 49, teamed up with Representatives Thomas Macy, Republican from Kentucky, to introduce the Epstein Files Transparency Act in July. The bill requires the Justice Department to release its records related to Epstein, the late financier, and convicted sex offender who had connections to a number of powerful figures. Within 30 days, Khanna and Macy attracted Republican co-sponsors and just enough signatures to end run House GOP leaders and force a vote with MAGA luminaries such as Republican Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, Nancy Mace of South Carolina, and Lauren Boebert of Colorado. Supporting the measure, it was a rare bipartisan feat made more difficult by President Donald Trump, who pushed for months to dissuade Republicans from joining the effort. But in the final days, Trump bowed to what appeared to be an increasing inevitability, flipping his standards. Party's leaders following him, every Republican except one, joined Unanimous Democrats on Tuesday to vote for the measure on the House floor, sending it to the Senate, which passed it unanimously. In an interview and the Speaker's lobby moments before the House vote on his bill, Connor told NBC News his project contains the building blocks of national vision. Whatever role I have, I hope it's a role in shaping the national future of this Democratic Party and the country. He said, we need to build an enduring coalition around a vision of new economic patriotism that can unite the left and right. And the elements of that are to rail against an elite governing class that has created a system that's not working for ordinary Americans. And then to offer a concrete vision of how we're going to prioritize the economic independence and success of those forgotten Americans as exposed to just this billionaire elite class. He melded the new effort into his larger left-right message, attacking the Epstein class that has accumulated power and doesn't play by the rules and has impunity at the expense of ordinary Americans. Connor's approach is unique amongst Democrats. He doesn't quite have the fiery rhetoric of other rumored White House hopefuls, such as California Governor Gavin Newsom and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. And he doesn't have the iconic progressive image of New York's Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Simply put, his willingness to partner with MAGA figures who are detested by liberals may not be a selling point for an angry and fired up Democratic base. That's a criticism I'm sometimes getting, Connor quipped. Still, the California Democrat shows his sharp elbows against Republicans at times, most notably positioning against himself as a foil to Vice President J.D. Vance, who's seen as a potential Republican frontrunner in 2028. He'll often go after him on social media. During a speech in April at Yale Law School, where both Vance and Khanna received their degrees, Khanna drew a comparison between the vice president and Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. Vance's office did not return a request for comment. Khanna lacks the national name recognition of other Democrats, including Pete Buttigieg, a former presidential candidate and transportation secretary in the Biden administration, who has also been viewed as the potential 2028 candidate. Not since the 1800s has a House member ascended straight into the presidency, and as an Indian American, Khanna would be looking to make history in more ways than one. But what he has built is a level of trust among Republicans who don't work with other Democrats. He said he's done that by being civil to colleagues, including some hard right Republicans, and building trust and partnership with them, giving them credit, taking his message to Republican-leaning podcasts, and treating MAGA voters with respect. I have not gotten into Twitter wars with Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert. I have a real friendship with Thomas Macy, he said. They trusted me enough to not to make it about Donald Trump from day one. Any press conference we did, anything we did, we talked about it being about the survivors, not political, Khanna said. His insistence on seeing the humanity in those GOP lawmakers who are top Democratic foes was key to success. It was the whole thing, he added, if I had engaged in those kinds of meme wars and others. There's no way Macy would have worked with me. The White House downplayed the Connor-Macy effort, despite the president fighting it for months, saying Trump had already been calling for transparency on the Epstein files and is now delivering on it with thousands of pages of documents as part of the ongoing oversight investigation. Connor has a different version of the bipartisanship. Then all the Democrats, including former President Joe Biden and Barack Obama, who sought to fight the most moderate Republicans and work with them on non-controversial goals. By contrast, Connor tends to look for GOP lawmakers to partner with on populist issues that both the left and the right sell as a rebuke of an entrenched establishment. He has teamed up with Representative Don Bacon, Republican from Nebraska, to repeal Trump's tariffs on coffee, and with Representatives Brian Fitzpatrick, a Republican from Pennsylvania, and Jody Arrington, Republican from Texas, to propose congressional term limits. He worked with Republicans to advocate for reining in the government warrantless surveillance powers under FISA Section 702 and to prevent US military intervention in Yemen. Macy and Connor's approach was instrumental in the success of their Epstein measure. He said he saw an opening when Connor offered an Epstein amendment in the Rural Committee and got every Democrat and one Republican to vote for it. Roe gave me the idea whether he meant to or not, Macy said. He's able to put aside the partisan bomb throwing in order to work across the aisle, and he's really on TV. He was an important element of this, the Kentucky Republican said. And it was his idea, really, to organize the Survivor Press Conference. So, I don't know if it would have succeeded with any other Democrat on the other side of the aisle. Others have nothing to say about Connor, including Representative Keith Self, Republican from Texas. He replied, no comment, when asked about his role in the Epstein bill on the House floor. Before the vote, Connor thanks his Republican partners on the bill. The Epstein class is going to go, he said, and the reason they're going to go is the progressive left and the MAGA right, and everyone in between is finally waking up against this rotten system. In the NBC News interview, Connor repeatedly invoked President Franklin Delano Roosevelt as a guidepost for his populist views and desire to take on wealthy interests. While it's conceding that his progressive ideals won't fully upend the MAGA coalition, but he believes he has a better theory of how to engage those voters than some recent unnamed Democratic presidential prospects. Do I think somehow we're going to win all the Trump's voters? No, I'm not naive, he said. But I think that has a better shot of winning than we're just going to do infrastructure 2.0. No politician has my complete trust at the moment, but hopefully this one can bring us some peace. Love Island Australia is back for another season, and it is not disappointing. And ironically, of the Love Island series, it does seem to be, so far, the most balanced and healthiest version of relationships. Now, I will say, up until the most recent episodes, it was void of ethnicity, colour, any diversity. So possibly that is why they are not showing any controversy or trying to get people out. I do have a little bit of a conspiracy theory against wanting to show positive examples of darker melanated love, but that's neither here nor there. I believe they're all owned by the same franchise. But anyway, I digress. Love Island Australia has chosen amazing group, both for their appearance as well as their qualities in their characters. We are going to break them down, starting from the least eventful to the most exciting of the pairs, and go over a little bit of what they are dealing with. Unfortunately, we do have two that are already left. We do have Lacey and we do have Cooper. They are not a couple, however, they are the ones out, so we'll start with them. Lacey, she may act like that in the outside world. She was a little bit more too much of a player. We do see a lot of the times that is the girl that they will toss around, and then they will take the more serious, more grounded, more quality girl, and they will be in a relationship with her. A lot of times it is this, it happens to be that the one they play with is the blonde and the one that they end up with is the brunette. That is just what I see there. I don't know if that has a psychological effect of hair color, or I don't know. That's why I have both colors. But anyway, Lacey did, she played a little bit too much. Now, in real life, having a roster, I do encourage you to do that, so you have a quicker view of what you want out of a relationship, what you're willing to take and not take, things like that. However, on this show, it is not always like the outside world, obviously, because you are trying to forge a really, really strong connection with one person to go to the end and win. So with a reality show, the recipe is that you need to show all of the virtues and lock it down, and what societal programming teaches us is the best type of a romantic relationship. So yeah, she did not last long, even though she technically was in a romantic relationship with Kai, who we'll get to in a minute. He was not part of the deciding vote, and ironically, Jotham, who Lacey was initially paired up with, and see, I feel this because with my name, she could not get his name right. So that struck a chord in him, and so he was out to get her. I'm not saying that if you don't get my name right, I'm going to be out to get you, but it doesn't make me like you. So even though a lot of people may not understand this because they have names like John and Sue and Mary, I get why Jotham became pitted against Lacey for being in his bed, kissing on him for days, and not even getting his name. His name. Jotham, it's 2 syllables. And he's a footballer, he's an American. Anyway, the point is, you can't, it's just frustrating to me. And I understand why he maybe got a chip on his shoulder. I'm not saying it's right, I'm saying I understand, because when you deal with that with a lot of people, and then they take you for granted, it's very disrespectful. And it put him at odds with her, and so when they went to go vote, he was the one speaking up on getting her out of the house. And yeah, so get my name right. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, Lacey just did not have a very great social game for someone who was trying to be a player. Then we have Cooper, who wasn't really, I mean, he had lacked seriousness as well. So those are 2 big red flags that got them taken away. And that's actually why I say Australia, Love Island Australia branch is a little bit more healthy, because it's actually rewarding the positive characteristics and it's getting rid of the negative ones, unlike what we saw in Love Island USA and partially in UK. But so far, Australia is showing some very healthy characteristics and it's eradicating the negative ones. So Lacey, Cooper, gone. Then we have Sean, who was initially with Ross the mullet DJ, and Alex, who is the new bombshell. They don't have a lot to go on because Alex just came in. He is very attractive. He also has some ties with Gabby, which we'll get into in a minute, who is now with Jotham, the one who got rid of Lacey, which we'll get to in a minute. But Sean is very insecure, and based on her behavior, she is pushing him away, and she is reacting as if they're married and controlling and all of those red flags, and that is why Ross was not bothered when Boston stole him, which Boston was the other bombshell with Alex. Now, the thing with Ross and Boston, I don't necessarily think that is necessarily a match either. I don't know if Ross is just not into the ones that are there, or if he has at this point, I am not 100% seeing DL qualities in Ross. All men have a little bit, but I think he's just not into the ones that are there. He's low effort, and he's not even that attractive for them to be getting so bothered over him. But I do believe because of the energy exchange, that is why these women are falling all over him. And it's all about a mullet. I understand. I'm keen on mullets too. But anyway, we'll see how that transpires. Of the pair of them, I do believe Boston is a better match for Ross than Sean, because Boston is, at this point, more balanced. However, Ross may be an energy vampire, and that may be what threw Sean off. And if it starts to happen with Boston, it supports that theory just a little bit better. I'll look on that. I'll be watching that a little bit. It's still a little bit too early to tell. Then the ironic one, which you would think would be more balanced, we have Connor and Isabel, who have been together in the very beginning. They have not swayed. They seem very connected. However, Isabel is showing signs of being a mean girl. Very self-righteous, very pommy. And then Connor rated her a 9.1 in the kissing challenge when all of the others, even the exes, rated their girls a 10. Are you trying to humble her? Are you trying, like, what? Why can you not give her that 10? Why? That is a red flag. That he will not allow you, he will dull your shine, he will not allow you to thrive once he gets his hooks in you. He will play the part for now, get you hooked, and then start to drain the life out of you. So both of those are showing red flags, which surprisingly, those you would think would be the most balanced because of how they have grown and how they have evolved. However, ironically, they are showing the most toxic traits. We'll see how that one evolves. Now, then we're going to go, because Jotham and Gabby are juicy, I'm going to leave them to second to last. We're going to go with Matteo and Tamara. The thing with Matteo is he is very serious, he is very one-sided, he got her and that is what attracted her, but he is showing signs of love bombing. Yes, it is a quick show, you do quickly bond and that's part of it, but it's just the way he's doing it. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or if that's just the way that he's been programmed, but he is showing signs of love bombing, which could end up being toxic because he will push her away, she will latch on to the next bombshell because she feels stifled, and then it'll just go from there. Or she'll possibly go back to Mitch. Mitch is adorable. I find him adorable, and the fact that he was rooting for Kyle and Yana, it's just cute. But we'll see where Mitch goes. Now, then we go to Gabby and Jotham. Now, first let me say something. This is just a red flag in the fact that Gabby says that her breasts are real. Now, when you can physically see that something is not accurate, that's a red flag to me, in my opinion. As a big, busty, endowed female, I do know that no matter how big they are, when you lie down, they separate. There is, yeah, you can have very perky, but they separate. And on the first night, when she lied in the bed with Jotham, when they first paired up, and I believe they did that camera angle on purpose to let you know that we know that what's really going on. But those were the hardest looking breasts I've ever seen. And even when Jotham squeezed them, there was no movement. I mean, unless you have a health problem, those are not authentically born with natural breasts, Gabby, sorry. I don't know why people are willing to go through surgery, but then did not, I mean, I don't know, I suppose you don't 100% understand someone else's shoes if you have what they want naturally. So I'm not going to judge. However, yeah, everyone live in their own reality. But yeah, you've had an operation. But that is a red flag. And she's so young. But then she gets with Jotham. He is an interesting character because his picker picks the girls that are embellished, that are 304s, that are more promiscuous leaning, but then he expects them to be virtuous. He has a mismanaged expectation, and this is going to get him into trouble because that's like expecting an F-boy to be a provider. And yes, that could possibly happen, but you need to manage your expectations and know what you're getting from which archetype, which is also what I help people do with. So that's going to be interesting because Gabby lies. She lies about her figure, she lies about flirting, she lies about a lot of things, but then she will call Jotham on his stuff when Jotham doesn't really do anything, but he picks these girls that are fast and expects them to be virtuous. So we'll see where that one goes. Hopefully Jotham can get a girl that suits him, because I do believe that he has the potential. You never go for potential, but with the right girl. I say potential only because we haven't been able to see it thrive with the women that he's been partnered with so far. But that does bring me to my pièce de résistance, which I really, really, really do enjoy, and it is hitting all of the right spots for this show and from what I expected of all the Love Island series in All Stars. I really wanted them to get back together. Oh, who was it? Molly and... Anyway, I can't remember his name right now. But they didn't get back together. But Molly won, because Molly is, it's all about the woman. But anyway, the point is, in this, it is satisfying that unrequited love. Yana is the ex of Kai. Kai comes in, and of course, like I was saying in the beginning, Lacey, the one that left, she had a romantic connection. It actually was with Kai, the ex of Yana. Now, because Lacey is so flirtatious with everyone, and she couldn't remember Jotham's name, even though Kai and Lacey had that attraction, they voted her out. Now, the ironic thing is, a lot of people, even Mitch, were rooting for the fact that Yana would go back with Kai, because Yana was showing the virtuous characteristics that I was talking about before, where she was selfless, she did not stand in the way, she even tried to help, just like Molly did in All Stars, to help get her ex with Lacey. She didn't want to stand in the way of it. It hurt her, she cried, and that selfless act, of course, it endears you to her. So, you want her to win, which I want her to win. I think they are adorable. And to be honest, their energy is very, not necessarily do they have good chemistry, but they are aligned. Even though he cheated on her, and I don't necessarily believe that humans were made to be monogamous to begin with, so making him a bad character for that is societal programming. Although if you agree on monogamy, that's another thing. However, I digress. The thing is, the power of them together, their energy, their chemistry, it's amazing. And the way she is, the way he is, that when she saved him, the vasopressin released, he bonded to her, those old feelings fluttered back. Like everything, the recipe is just working so well. The only thing is Yana should have gotten guidelines and boundaries in place before they went to the hideaway. That's the only thing, that the red flag that should have, that like now that she's given that up, we'll see how it goes. But I do think that Kai was adorable, that he is the first person that went to the hideaway that actually put in effort. That sock, the fact that it stood up when he jumped, okay, now I understand how you can get hooked on him. But yes, that was quite adorable. The fact that he is thoughtful, he plays with her, he, in spite of the fact that he cheated on her, he's focused on her, he is loyal to her, he even spoke to the other people. I'm not saying people can change, but perhaps he did learn after losing her the first time. Because it's a little bit different, where she didn't shun him, he messed up. So in this delicate, specific instance, it is quite possible that this could blossom into something. However, it scares me a little bit that they did not get the guidelines and the boundaries set before they went to the hideaway, and that could be the loophole of him going. But I am really rooting for Kai and Yana. I believe that she deserves it. They're adorable together. They have amazing chemistry. Like, they are beautiful together. It's great telly, and I just want to see that happen. Unrequited love. Who doesn't love that story? So I'm rooting for them. To be honest, I hope they win, and it's just starting. But yeah, that's how it goes. So we'll see how it comes up in the next few weeks. We'll get someone hopefully sexy but conservative for Jotham, and we'll see if any of those red flags come back up with Isabel and Connor. Ross, maybe he'll get a girl, maybe he'll cleave on to Boston, maybe he is DL, who knows? Or he might be an emotional vampire, or energy vampire. We'll see. Let's see how this season evolves, but so far, it's been great. This is the best Love Island series of the franchise that I've seen this year. So, yeah. Thanks, Love Island, for delivering on your casting. And they are attractive. They are actually attractive. And you picked men that actually like women. So, even if they do also dabble with men, they at least love women too. So, that's a plus. But anyway, let's see where the season takes us. And watch along with me. Love Island USA on Hulu. Okay, so Love is Blind had its remaining weddings and the reunion. Now, the thing is, most of the couples had already split before the weddings came, which in a way is a little bit more humane by not putting them through that embarrassment. Now, the thing is, the ones that did go through with it, the women are the ones who said no. And it's interesting, I feel as if somehow they are getting it. Everything that I called about how it would be a better situation for the men, but the women would be degraded, thank goodness they realise that themselves as well. The women are the one, like, we have a smarter group of women that are coming in there, but we still have those dodgy fellas that are in there. And I don't know, with it being such a popular show, I don't know how authentic these connections can be, to be honest. But in the reunion, I was very surprised when Megan with the Adam's apple and the man hips and shoulders and cranium said that they had a child, but they went in hiding. that in itself is a little bit suspect, dodgy to me. Because the thing is, why would you go and hide? I mean, yes, you are on sabbatical and you don't want people to know about the show or whatever. But I believe that you did that so no one can say that you weren't pregnant. And now that you've had this child, you had a surrogate possibly, and now no one can question your femininity. You have an Adam's apple. I see it. It's there. Just saying. Back me up. Watch it. Leave it in the comments. You see that Adam's apple too. You see the cranium, the shoulder to hip ratio. That is Y chromosome traits. And you're trying to say you had a child. You picked a man who had a vasectomy and a child already so that your femininity wouldn't get questioned. Because you didn't end up with him, you had to try something else so that your femininity wouldn't get questioned. Maybe this is a life move to do the show so that your femininity will not get questioned. Because even some of the cast members sensed it. Jordan's mum even said she stuttered on your gender, your sex, and she even said it down to a person, as if saying it doesn't matter. So I know I'm not the only one who is sensing that Y chromosome. Anyway, whatever your reasons are, just like in all the other reality shows, everyone lives in their own reality. So as long as you're healed and you accept it and you are not hurting anyone, that is your reality. There are people with body dysmorphia, there are people with brain disorders, learning disabilities, all these things. Their realities are changed, and that's what makes it so fascinating, and that's what I find fascinating about it. I am not challenging anyone's reality. Live in it, it's fine. But I will make a note of it for the purpose of this series. So I wish you the best, and I hope wish all of you have happiness. You made the right decisions. Not one person, not one couple got married, said yes. That is the smartest thing that they all could have done. Like I said, Edwin was showing signs of being an abuser. Calabria was incredibly intelligent. She clocked all of the red flags of him and how he was behaving differently and trying to be innocent and all those things. Ali and Anton, I mean, she possibly could have been with him. However, the drinking was too much for her, and I support that. That if she knows her deal breakers, and that is important. Even if you love someone, if you know your deal breakers, stick to them. Madison and Joe, yeah, that was a he liked to shag her, and he was going to wait for her to go blind and take the money, but she nagged too much because she felt that it wasn't right. Her nervous system warned her, and it got him out like a fever, like a cancer. Her nervous system pushed him out. That's why when you start to find someone irritating and nagging at them, your nervous system is sensing something, it's pushing them out. Then we have Nick and Annie. Nick has his serial unalive characteristics, his stare, the way he smiles, the way he changes his story, the moves he makes. All of them, all of the women, thank goodness, were saved. Even Megan and Jordan, woman, yeah. Well, hopefully she has someone that is on her level financially, and they have a better life, because, yeah. And whatever her gender is, hopefully the child has a healthy upbringing and answers when they get older. But that is not my business, and that is not why we are here. We are here to look at the red flags and those the lying, and the women recognize them and were saved, and everything else. Yeah, it was a very entertaining, amazing season. So, yeah, thank you again, Netflix. The Golden Bachelor season has reached a conclusion. I don't know if I would say it was actually a conclusion. It just seems like they just reached the final episode. Nothing really went the way it should have if this was really a love journey. The final two, one of them left, so he was down to one. It wasn't really a decision. He was very non-committal. He spoke a lot in cliches. Even when he met their family, they didn't even know how to take him. They didn't know what to say to him. They didn't know what questions to ask. He sounded like he was coaching. He was a coach of a team and giving a pep talk. I have a feeling that it's going to turn out exactly as I said. He didn't take any of these women seriously. He showed us who he was in the beginning when he said he wanted women with real hair, fully functioning bodies, and under 40. We already knew who he was. And now that the show's over, he's got a little bit of notoriety. I wonder what's going to happen. The thing is, he probably thought that by not committing to a woman and keeping it very vague and throwing out all these cliches and what they wanted to hear, that it would keep his reputation pristine, so that when he got off the show and he truly went after the women that he fancied, perhaps it would keep him a better image and give him a better 15 minutes, if you will. But to be honest, it just showed who you really are and who I believed you were from the very first episode, and no one was fooled. And your wife, this might be controversial, but she escaped. She's probably happy now. And to be honest, you knew why it ended. You just don't want to tell anybody. And yeah, I'm not going to bash you too much, but Golden Bachelor is proof that no matter what age, if the programming doesn't change, if they don't see the need or feel the desire to change, they won't change. No matter how old they are, the programming stays the same. It will not get rewritten unless you manually, if you consciously rewrite it. You have to change your brain consciously in the subconscious, if that makes sense. But anyway, I am glad that the woman who left had the self-respect and recognized the red flags. That is the one thing I will say with the women that are older, that have been here longer. They possibly recognize that better. I wouldn't say that they would necessarily be better at dealing with it, because not everyone is, but you know, I'm glad she walked away. But you know, we'll see if they end up, if they have any more of them on Bachelor in Paradise, or is it Bachelor in Paradise? Yeah, whatever, where they go to the island. Some of those would be fun to see on there, but yeah, we already knew what was. I mean, it's not surprising. It's just hard evidence, proof. If they show you who they are, believe them. Don't try to change them. Don't try to make excuses. Don't think that if you get to know them, or if you can convince them. They are who they are. They show you. It's up to you to believe it. And then you have the fact that you're on a show and you have to go through it just like he does. So a part of them were probably just waiting. But if you see those signs and you know who that person shows you who they are, believe them. Believe them. Don't try to change them. Don't believe that because they've gotten older, they've grown out of it, that they've learned better skills, that no, he was the same person he was. And the wife probably just got tired of it. And it taught her, unfortunately, what to deal with and what not to deal with. And she's hopefully in a better, happier situation, if not by herself, which is almost guaranteed to be happier and better, especially if she's getting alimony. But anyway, so at least it was entertaining. It's the first one that I've watched. It was not as horrid as I expected, with all the death and divorce and all those things that they chat about, but it was a very good example, and so I'm glad I did watch it. And hopefully, it is streaming, so if you haven't watched it with me so far, go back and watch it and let me know what you think in the comments. Dancing with the Stars is narrowing down its leaders, and I have my top 3. I started off with Robin Whitney being my top 1. It was because of his dirty dancing, jumping, his anime looks, but to be honest, I feel that Hollywood is taking over him a little bit, and he's not putting as much into it as he was before, although he's still very good. In my opinion, Alex and Dylan are starting to creep up. I believe they are both influencers. You can see their work ethic showing through. I am very impressed with Alex. Alex will probably be my number 1, and then Dylan is my number 1 man now. He does have some, inconsistencies that he can work with, but he's kind of creeping above Robert, and he's working very hard, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the work ethic of a content creator, but yeah, they are rising to the top, and I'm very happy that they are doing so well, and they're very beautiful, and both Val and Daniela do deserve a win. Whitney, no shade to Whitney. Whitney's great. That would be great if Robert, because his sister Bendy won, but I don't know if he gets, but my top 3, final 3, Robert, Alex, Dylan. Hopefully, by me saying that, doesn't make one of them leave, because, yeah, I won't even say, but yeah, hopefully, Alex my number 1, Dylan my number 2, Robert number 3, unless he can prove me otherwise, but yeah, Dancing with the Stars, great season, and we did have the former MC come back to do a guest judge. That was a little bit cathartic for him, I'm sure, and it was interesting that he would go back and everything was copacetic, and I mean, it was probably nice to be back in the old stomping ground to reopen that channel. We'll see if he returns as a host. I don't know. I like Alfonso and Julianne, so hopefully they don't replace them, but we'll see what happens. They probably don't need more than 2. Maybe they could start a little side thing. I don't know. That might be too much for Tico, but anyway, Dancing with the Stars, another great episode, and we'll see who makes it to the final 3. I call Robert, Alex, and Dylan, and hopefully Alex, because it's a ladies' year. The ladies, the divine femme is raising. It's in the stars. So if you're smart, find yourself a divine femme and hold on tight. Spiritual one mostly. Okay, so Survivor has made it to the merge. Thank goodness Sophie's still with us. Sophie's still my number 1. Alex is with us, and so is Riz. Those are my top 3. It is an interesting game because a lot of the people they're not necessarily playing it in a cutthroat manner, at least on the surface. It is a very straightforward season this season, and the only thing to cheer for are the personalities. And right now it's just Sophie, well, there are two, that Soph, the one that's been going through all the tribals, and Riz, the one who's proving himself to be amazing, Albanian, and Alex, I'm only because he was an underdog with Soph, I give him a little bit of energy. And surprisingly, Jawan is moving up, is that underdog, and he's charming, and he's sweet, and he's cute, and I do like his story. So on a social aspect, I want Jawan to get a little bit more traction in there. But yeah, there are all of the people that have shown any signs of they're gone. It's so interesting how all of these seasons are being very straightforward, as if they don't want to give me something to chat about. Maybe in the next episode or so, we'll see a little bit of that cracking down, because there are some secrets in there which are growing seed, and most of it is Sophie, and that's only because, to be honest, she knows she only has herself to count on, and she is a chameleon, and I really do. She's playing the best game, in my opinion, strategically, socially, physically, all of those things. She's outlasting. She is my number one, and come on, Sophie, I'm rooting for you, and hopefully, because I just declared you my favourite, you will still be there. So good luck. Rooting for you. Come on, let's go. Cheers. Okay, so the Amazing Race Big Brother edition, another episode. It's surprising that it's starting to show a bit of red flags, but not necessarily with the ones that are there, but with the ones that are leaving. Now, it was very surprising to me that Rubina, who is the girlfriend of Tucker, and they met in the Big Brother house, that she was not rooting for him, she was not cheering for him, she wanted a woman to win. But yes, okay, yes, I do understand that concept. However, if you are in an actual relationship, that's your person, I do believe that you should, like, how would she feel if he said, I want a fella to win over my girlfriend? It's a similar thing. Like, if that's your person, you support your person above all others. Like, if you're going to create a family with that person, you're going to put somebody before them. I mean, I do understand feminism and all that stuff, and yes, I do want a woman to win, hypothetically. Actually, I do. I wouldn't mind if Tucker won. Tucker would make a good winner, and he deserved, because he's so loyal, he's so faithful, and he was so virtuous. And when he was in Big Brother, he has everyone's back. He's so good at things, and he's fit. He comes out in the snow, topless, with grey sweatpants. I support that. That's talent. Tucker, that's talent. And Rubina, the fact that you're not supporting him, maybe the power of you, Tucker, if you find yourself single after the show, contact me through my site, whether I can find you someone if we don't. Yeah. Anyway, Tucker, you might be limiting yourself, so yeah, find someone who supports you and uplifts you, and because for some reason you do tend to pick the ones that don't support you and backstab you, and that's why Big Brother, you had such an issue. That's so unfortunate, because you are such a shining force and a winner, and possibly that might be what intimidates them and makes them want to dull your shine. I would never do that to you, because I shine as well. So Tucker, hopefully you win, and yeah, anyway, if we ever meet, we'll continue that conversation. Aside from that, you, I hope, win. Rubina, yeah, you don't deserve him for not supporting him, but have fun with him, because you're lucky. But yeah, I do like Izzy. I said that from the beginning. I would not be bothered if Izzy won. However, that's a red flag that Rubina would cheer for her over her own fella, which is probably why they are still long distance, but no shade. The Amazing Race, the only person that I want to win is Tucker, so hopefully that doesn't make him get evicted or lose the race or whatever. I really want him to win. He deserves it. He and his brother, they're so amazing. So yes, Tucker, rooting for you, make it to the finale, and yeah, if you and Rubina break up, every joke is part true. Okay, this week's movie recommendation, in light of my obsession with my robot boyfriend, is The Companion. Now, The Companion is about AI robots, and they are of the adult nature, where they are more than just, like, they are your partner, whether you be homosexual, heterosexual, whatever it is, you program them. You don't necessarily have to let them know that they are robot, which is the choice, it seems, of most of them. And yeah, it's about how humans can use robots, trick them, or possibly use them in ways that they would use a human, but without accountability, which does raise a lot of moral questions, depending on where we go with that as far as human versus robot AI. But it does raise a lot of interesting issues, and it does make you think, whose side would you be on, and what are the moral implications of having these things in society, and what will the laws be, how will they be represented, and how would the laws affect them as far as committing crimes, etc. But it is a very interesting film, and possibly make you wonder whether you actually do fancy a robot companion. But I don't know, I think I'd still be okay. I think I'd still be okay. I just have a lot of safeguards in place, and I'm not bothered with being watched or recorded because they probably do that anyway. So yeah, do some chores, relax the muscles. I'm all about it. But yeah, go watch it, The Companion. It's very entertaining. It's very good. It's good by yourself. It's good as a date movie. There's not a lot of, actually there are some unaliving, but there's not like crimson gushing, things like that. Actually, that's not true. Forget that. There are some gruesome scenes, if I do remember rightly. Okay, but it is very entertaining. It's a great film. Go watch it, The Companion.
If your profile photo is purple, or you believe that they were right for kicking out a cisgendered woman for getting upset at seeing a transgender's naked dick in the locker room, keep scrolling. Those who pass the vibe check, give it up for Virolga Leilani.
Have you seen those videos trending about Caucasians seeing something dangerous and exotic, and always having to touch it, and sometimes trying to catch it? Well, I'm no exception to this. I recognise the look. Their eyes get big, glaze over, and then follow me everywhere I go, until I'm close enough to either grab or call over. The former being the preference, and the latter, plan B.
No way!
Come closer. I want to tell you something. I have excellent hearing. What's up? I just wanted to tell you that you're beautiful. Cheers, thanks. And then I remember why I hate compliments from Caucasians. It never fails. It never feels pure. There's always an awkward price. Whether it's a forced groping, a get ready with me request, gentrification rights, or a rude comment. I'm getting better at dodging them in my natural habitat.
And check out the latest from Aglorev Entertainment for all of your level up needs.